The signal came through faintly at first, a crackle of static amid the cold silence of space. Captain Ilara Voss adjusted the frequency on her ship's comms panel, her gloved fingers moving with practiced precision. The EOS, humanity's last deep space vessel, floated in orbit around Proxima Centauri b, a desolate exoplanet chosen as their final refuge after Earth had been reduced to ash. "Still nothing but noise," muttered Lieutenant Jace Corwin from behind her. His voice carried an edge of frustration that mirrored the tension aboard the ship. They'd spent weeks scanning for any sign of life back home, clinging to hope despite knowing better. Ilara didn't respond immediately. Her eyes were fixed on the console screen, where fragmented bursts of data flickered across the display. Something about this transmission felt different. Not just random interference or cosmic background radiation. It was deliberate. "There," she said suddenly, pointing at a string of symbols emerging from the chaos. "It's encoded." Jace leaned forward, his brow furrowing. "Encoded? From where?" She hesitated before answering. "Earth." A heavy silence fell over the bridge. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Earth wasn't supposed to send anything anymore, not after the war. Humanity's homeworld had become a graveyard, its cities leveled by orbital bombardment and its atmosphere poisoned by retaliatory strikes during the Great Conflict against the Zetherians, an alien species they'd once hoped to ally with. That conflict had ended 2 decades ago, leaving both civilizations in ruins. And yet, here it was, a message from Earth. Dr. Leora Tanaka, the ship's chief xenolinguist, stood hunched over her workstation hours later, her face illuminated by the glow of holographic text. She ran a hand through her disheveled hair as she deciphered the fragmented transmission piece by piece. "It's not entirely in English," she announced finally, turning to address Ilara and Jace. "Parts of it are written in binary Morse code, interspersed with phrases in what appears to be, well, something new." "New?" Ilara asked sharply. "What do you mean?" Leora hesitated, then brought up a section of the decoded message on the main viewer. The words scrolled across the screen. "You will pay for what you have done. You'll regret this war. We are still here." The room went silent again, but this time it was heavier, oppressive. Even the hum of the ship's systems seemed muted. "Who is we?" Jace whispered, breaking the stillness. "There shouldn't be anyone left on Earth capable of sending messages like this." "That's the thing," Leora replied, her tone unnervingly calm. "I don't think this is coming from humans." Ilara's stomach tightened. "Explain." "The structure of the language, it's too precise, too mathematical." "And these symbols?" She pointed to a series of glyphs embedded within the text. "They resemble patterns we've seen in Zytherian communication protocols, but there's also something else mixed in, something organic." "Organic?" Ilara echoed. "Yes, like biological code, DNA sequences woven into the message itself." Leora looked up, meeting Ilara's gaze. "Captain, I think whatever sent this isn't fully machine or fully alive. It's hybridized." Hours turned into days as the crew debated how to respond or whether they should respond at all. Some argued that acknowledging the transmission could provoke further hostility. Others insisted they owed it to themselves, and perhaps even to Earth, to investigate. In the end, Ilara made the call. "We're going back," she declared, her voice firm despite the weight of the decision. "If there's even a chance, someone or something is trying to reach us, we can't ignore it." The journey to Sol took nearly 3 months. As the Eos approached the remnants of Earth's shattered moon, the crew braced themselves for what they might find. The planet below was unrecognizable, a scorched wasteland cloaked in perpetual twilight, its skies choked with toxic clouds. Radiation levels were off the charts, making surface exploration nearly impossible without advanced shielding. but the signal grew stronger as they descended, guiding them toward a specific location near the ruins of New York City. What awaited them there defied comprehension. The source of the transmission was a massive construct buried beneath the remains of Manhattan. Its design was unmistakably Zetherian, sleek, angular, and pulsating with faint blue light, yet intertwined. With its metallic framework were tendrils of flesh-like material, writhing slowly as if alive. The entire structure seemed to breathe, exhaling wisps of vapor that shimmered in the dim light. This shouldn't exist," Leora murmured, her voice trembling. She scanned the monstrosity with her handheld analyzer, the readings spiking, wildly. It's some kind of fusion between their technology and biomass. Human biomass. Ilara swallowed hard, forcing herself to stay focused. "Can you access the core? Find out what it wants?" Leora nodded hesitantly and moved closer, her every step cautious. As she interfaced her device with the construct, a sudden surge of energy coursed through the air. The ground quaked violently, and the structure began to emit a low, resonant hum. Then the voice came, not through their comms, but directly inside their minds. "You left us to die." The crew staggered, clutching their heads as the telepathic intrusion overwhelmed them. Images flooded their thoughts, cities burning, oceans boiling, screams echoing endlessly. And amidst the carnage, figures, human and Zetherian alike, fused, together in agony, their bodies merging into grotesque hybrids. "We are the remnants of your failure," the voice continued, laced with sorrow and rage. "Your war created us. Now we live to remember." What are you?" Ilara managed to choke out, tears streaming down her face. "We are Earth." Back aboard the Eos, the crew sat in stunned silence, unable to process what they'd witnessed. The construct, no, the entity, had released them after delivering its message, allowing them to leave unharmed. But the memory of its words lingered, haunting them. "We have to tell the others," Jace said quietly, breaking the silence. "Everyone who survived the war. They need to know." Ilara shook her head. "And say what? That we unleashed something beyond our understanding? That Earth itself has become sentient and vengeful?" "Maybe that's exactly what we need to hear," Leora interjected. "Maybe it's not just a warning. Maybe it's a plea." Ilara stared out the viewport at the receding image of Earth, now little more than a shadow against the stars. For the first time in years, she felt the weight of responsibility settle over her shoulders, not just for the survivors of humanity, but for the planet they'd abandoned. Whatever Earth had become, it was still theirs. And perhaps, one day, they would find a way to make amends, but until then, the message remained etched in their minds. "You'll regret this war."